After more than a year, the long intermission is about over at the Mccallum Theater. The 2021-22 season is out. Desert Sun reporter Brian Bluesky has the story in this Sunday's paper. Welcome, Brian. It's good to see you again.
Thank you, Joe.
And so let's start from where the Mccallum left off. And during that process, when did they realize, okay, we can move forward, we can start planning for a new season?
Well, I imagine that they were planning it through the year. Planning a season obviously takes a while, especially under the current conditions of the pandemic. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty right now, and I do notice that some artists are planning summer tours. But, you know, it had to have been through the year.
So Jamie Grant is the new leader there. I can't imagine what it's been like for him. New job, new city, and here he comes, and then all of a sudden everything shuts down. Did you chat with him about that and what it's been like for him?
Well, when he first arrived last summer, you know, he talked about leaving his old theater and coming to this one. And, you know, obviously there were some challenges when he arrived. But, you know, they put out a season last year that we never got to see. You know, operating a theater during a pandemic definitely comes with challenges, whether you're ready for it or not.
And will they operate under some kind of COVID regulations once it opens, or are they hoping by that time it will be full capacity?
They're planning for full capacity. But the one thing that Jamie and Harold Mastner both told me is that they're going to go with whatever regulations are on at the time. You know, the governor said that he plans to reopen the state fully, I think around June 15th. And they're really looking towards, they're confident that the season's going to be to full capacity.
And let's talk about Harold Mastner. You just mentioned him. How involved is he behind the scenes?
Harold Mastner is still the chairman of the Mccallum Theater. You know, he did step down from the Palm Springs Art Museum as one of the vice chairs. And he did tell me a couple weeks ago he would be open to passing the reins of the Palm Springs International Film Festival. So he's still very involved with the Mccallum, still involved with Eisenhower and the Barbara Sinatra Center. But yeah, he's still very involved with Mccallum.
You've had a chance to look over the season, some, many old favorites and some new shows. What's your take?
Well, Jamie and Harold called it their greatest hits season. A lot of familiar faces that play the Mccallum every year. Two that I can mention are the 10-tenors are coming back. The end of the year always comes with a performance by Chris Bodie. Talked to Harold a little bit and, to see, is that always like a traditional ending for the season? And he told me it was. So Chris Bodie will close out the season, and there will be some performances by the 10-tenors.
What is your takeaway from doing this story about the Mccallum, how strong it is, the season ahead? Tell me.
It's an interesting sign, especially right now with what we've been living through for, what will be almost 2 years once it reopens. Touring Broadway productions right now, I mean, there's very few going out, probably because they can't rehearse, and that industry has had some restrictions placed on it that make it a little hard to come back. And as artists are starting to announce tours, it's very promising. So I think the return of live entertainment is very welcoming, and the Mccallum, I think, is one of those places that, is well known through the year, providing entertainment for the Coachella Valley. And I think it's exciting.
It's going to be exciting, and I think there are going to be a lot of sold-out performances. Brian, good to see you again. Thank you so much. We'll be reading your piece in this Sunday's paper.
Thank you for having me.
And keep it right here. We'll be right back.